How is everyone doing today? April 4th of 2023. I did a video 3 days ago talking about how crazy our weather could be in this area. Um, this didn't happen over the span of 3 days, and this happened all, I don't know, about 4 or 5 p.m. last night until really, really early, about 5 a.m. this morning. We got snowed on again, so wanted to tell everybody to hang in there. If you're in a mid zone and down, hold the line. It looks beautiful. It's a big hassle though. We had to shovel our car out. But I love you guys. Wanted to show you some of the snow and how it looks in our yard. Um, I live in Zone 6B, southwestern Utah, high altitude. So it kind of makes weather conditions for us are quick. That would be one of the biggest challenges of high altitude gardening. Um, Winds will just come in all of a sudden, snow will just come in all of a sudden, rainstorms, heat waves. But whatever it does, it escalates. It climbs up and down really, really quick. So it can be a little bit of a challenge gardening here. I think we got about, I don't know, quite a bit, and quite a bit of snow. But I love you guys. We're hanging in there. We got a lot going on inside. I'll probably take you inside and chat about some of that stuff coming up. But wanted to show you our snowstorm. So it took about 8 hours for all this snow to land on us. All of a sudden, we had other storm warnings previous to this that were milder than they expected, and so we were expecting this one to be a little bit milder, but whatever the case is, it looks good. If it's going to snow, I want it to snow a lot. I don't want any of the mushy stuff or the other stuff. Underneath all this here is a crispy layer of ice, so it makes everything underneath all of it encased as an ice. So it's a little bit of a challenge, but we're crowded indoors, ready to bring the flood outdoors as soon as Mother Nature lets us take a breather. So love you guys. Catch you next time. April 4th of 2023 also happens to be Angel's birthday. Love you guys. Catch you next time. Thanks for watching. All right, so instead of showing our shelving systems, which I want to do in an upcoming video, because it might take a little bit longer, I wanted to show you guys the snow, but I'll also show you guys what we got going on in our little and bigger bathrooms. We grow our plants in the bathrooms. It makes a good place for a mirror right here that can really reflect light back onto the plants. A lot of times in these bathrooms anyways, in ours at our house, we have heat lamps that are up. But our bathrooms are mostly used for what is overflow. It's our house plants. It's ones that we're geared up and ready to give away. It's things like that. So it's a lot of it's a loose ends kind of situation in both of them. We crowd them up. As you can see, there's a tiny bit of space here for some more plants to be crowded into. But our shelving systems are starting to burgeon, and I wanted to do a longer video on that. So let me tell you what we got growing here. This is lemon lime basil. These are the ones that are doing the worst for us. So these ones right here might actually just be thrown out. But if some of them start snapping back, like specifically this one right here, we'll go ahead and keep it. This is also lemon and lime basil. We grew 4 or 5 different types of basil this year. These two types are the ones that we decided to go ahead and give out. Off of these little tiny double cut methods that we've been using though, we have harvested tons and tons and tons of this. We've been saving the lemon lime basil specifically for making teas, to put some basil, and it does have a citrusy lemon and lime flavor to it. But it was a little bit too wispy for us to want to put out with the plants because we want to do some power growing this year with some stronger varieties, and then we also have some excellent varieties of basil still that are growing really well. But we've harvested lots of this lemon and lime basil. If you grow your basil specifically for tea, this would be an excellent one to grow. That's falling out Tom Thumb lettuce. This is actually turmeric. So we got some turmeric from the farm market and planted it up, and we got some to sprout. We also have some ginger growing downstairs. This one right here was some ginger we got from the farm market and we tried. And I'll show you the ginger downstairs. So far nothing's came up from this. I kind of checked around under the dirt a little bit, and it might not work out on this one, but that's all right. We wanted to have turmeric and ginger, and I'll show you the ginger we have going on in a bit. But right here, this is turmeric. This is our spider plant. Our cats have got to it a couple times. They've snuck in this bathroom and chewed it up. It had a bunch of like spiders coming off of it, but this plant right here we've had for about 5 or 6 years. A spider plant is a really, really easy one to grow indoors if you're looking for a house plant that's easy. And the last plant that we have in the overflow in the upstairs bathroom, so you can see some of the spider plant coming off there, is the Tamarillo. It's also known as a tree tomato. It usually takes a couple of years for them to get growing. This one right here, I believe the seeds came from Candy's garden, and we just planted it up, and so far it's been going. As you can see the nodes on it, those are giant, giant leaves. These are actually the smaller of the leaves that have been on this plant in order so we could fit it up here and crowd it up into the corner a little bit there. But it's getting extra light. Every time we move this, it has a rough time. The problem with this right here is it's a highly tropical plant. It does not like to get cold, not even just freezing. It doesn't like to get cold. So this one right here, I'm not quite sure what's going to end up happening with it. We'll probably put it in a pot out into the yard to try to grow another year, and then it'd be kind of hard to decide what to do with it. But we ramp for where we're at, so we might not live in this spot for ever, even though we signed a new lease for another year here. So this is Tamarillo, spider plant, some turmeric, and some mostly just some giveaway lemon and lime basil. I'll probably plant this maybe down south at a family member's house, or I'll give this away at the farm market next weekend. We haven't given away much plants yet this year, but we kind of need to. We're falling behind on a few things, as I'll show you when I do my shelf system video in a couple days. But this is the larger of the two bathrooms. It's sort of a tropical environment and works really, really good for growing plants. So let me show you the smaller of the two bathrooms, then I'll sign you out. So love you guys. Catch you in a second. All right, so our little bathroom. That is Tom Thumb lettuce. I'm not quite sure if we'll give that away. I know it looks horrible right now. Angel just barely harvested this. So it's, it had giant leaves and was really, really fluffy. Within a few days, it'll need harvesting again, but she cut it back pretty good this time. It keeps on snapping back. We've been growing lettuce for a minute. If you're growing lettuce indoors and you actually want a good amount, you can get quite a bit of lettuce from the double cup method. In a single cup, you can grow a bunch. I wouldn't recommend the Tom Thumb. It's more of a smaller lettuce type. And I would recommend something like red romaine, butter crunch, something like that, so you could grow a tuft of lettuce and just harvest the whole thing and then have it grow back like that. But this is more of a fun grow for us this year. We have gotten enough to get sandwiches and stuff. It looks really bad right now, I can tell, but this is random peppers. We have a shaker, like a spice shaker with pepper seeds in it from all of our older pepper seeds, and I put a bunch in here, and we will transplant these out into little cups and kind of give these away as sprouts. But they are in here now because they are a part of Overflow with our shelf systems packing. It's just random. I have no idea which ones of these are. They're just mystery peppers, and we'll pot these up and give them out probably at the farm market just for fun. We know a lot of vendors and people down there that grow our plants, and so we get a chance to see them in the year for not being able to grow as many as we'd like in our small yard. We have friends in the community that grow a lot of plants for us and are really excited when we bring plants down to them, because we bring unique types that they don't see in the local nurseries here and stuff. But this is just random peppers. This one right here is actually, I think, a mini bell tomato, but the rest of them is just a huge variety of peppers. This right here is old pepper soil that we started throwing in this coffee bin to take outside or to maybe clean and use again. But a bunch of the seeds from pepper pods that weren't going are actually sprouting, so we'll probably maybe prick those out into cups, or we might just throw that whole thing out and just pull those up, because we have plenty of pepper sprouts going right now. I have no idea which ones those are, but there they are. We just took a bunch of the old soil and tossed it in there. This right here is a Hoya. It started out as just one of these leaves with a little bit of a node on the end of it, plugged into like something like this right here is the end piece, plugged into some soil in a cup, in the double cup thing like that. And it's just been left in there. And it grew and grew and grew, these long vines. This is a Hoya. It's another plant that we use as a house plant. Um, it grew and grew and grew. We cut it way, way back, transplanted all the little pieces of cut back. And this is what's happening again. It's already growing kind of crazy again. So it's a really, really easy plant to grow. Out of the 3 house plants that we grow, the Dieffenbachia, spider plant, and Hoya are the 3 that just we've had for a while. We're going to continue probably to have. They just give off tons and tons of plants, almost too much. We had to throw some of the from the spider plant out. We had to throw some of this out. But I'll show you what happened when the first time this grew long and we transplanted all those pieces. That was about 2 months ago. And this is what we got. There are 8 cups in there, 4 in front and 4 in back. And each of them have 1 or 2 of those nodes, those leaf nodes like I was showing you, just stuck into the cup there. And they've taken root, so we have a bunch of Hoyas. And it's really hard for us to give away house plants most of the time. If we're giving away plants, it's easier at the market or friends and family. If we're giving away our tomato plants, our pepper plants, our vegetables, squashes, stuff like that we plant from seed. So it's harder for this on the plants like this, but I can't see if I took this down to the farm market and just handed out, asked if anybody wanted one. We could give them out. Either than that, or they'll just sit here and grow and grow and grow. So like I was saying, our bathrooms are overcrowding situation. This right here is the pitcher plant. As you guys can see, it is falling out. I got this, I believe, last October from my little sister on my birthday. And maybe it was for Christmas. It was one of the 2. But I got this pitcher plant. These ones right here are still going. It's been really, really rough growing this one for some reason for us. So, I mean, I guess you win some and you lose some. But I think this one right here is just a bit too much of a struggle. I might be able to get it to snap back, but it might not also be worth the effort, because right now we're just overcrowded so badly, and this could be a space for something else that needs to come in here pretty soon. And right here we have what I am calling the Notamolata. This plant is over a year old now. We planted our seeds from the 2020 season or 2021 season last year at the beginning of the season, and they were the Notamolata seeds we saved from our own saves. It's obviously crossed. It's hard to explain how small this pepper plant is. It's super small. That's my hand right there. The leaves are almost like lettuce, but it's a cross between a Bueno Mulata and something else. At first we were thinking maybe the Chinese 5-color, but it's really hard to tell. I've never seen a pepper with leaves like this. I could almost snap these leaves like lettuce leaves or something, or some sort of succulent. It's a really, really fickle plant. It's really, really hard to get it to pollinate. I'm hoping to take these 2 pods here, get them riper, check them for seeds, and try to regrow it. Because if I can get this stabilized over a couple grows, so that it's out of its first couple generations where it'll show the most diversity, then I can maybe try to get the smallest pepper plant I've ever seen. So a stabilized version of it. It's just a really, really weird plant. We had 2 of them. One of them fell out. I think it was a soil issue. But I'm calling this one the Notamolata or the toenail pepper, because it just looks like big toenails all over the place. A couple hangnails there maybe. But that is the Notamolata or the toenail pepper. And it's a cross between a Bueno Mulata and something else. This plant right here is already a year old though, and that's the biggest it's gotten. Okay, and the last spots are right here. We'll start over here. This is the Dieffenbachia. As you guys will see, a lot of this stuff needs trimmed and stuff like that. I'll come back in here later on and get to it. You can see the leaves on it are a little bit rough. But the entire plant's alive and thriving. It's variegated Dieffenbachia. We've had this plant, I believe, is the longest plant we've owned in this house. We got this plant when we very, very first moved in. Angel got it. And this is there's actually 2 lemon trees in here. And these ones are the Meyer lemons. And we've had this plant 5 or 6 years. We're not really trying to get any lemons off of it. It needs to trim back pretty good. There's a couple of them in here. You can see it comes up pretty high. If I sit down right here, it kind of shows you. We do like to clip these leaves off and throw them in a boiling water because it gives off a really, really good aroma, even if you break this off. So having a plant that has a good aroma off of it, you can't eat the leaves. I'm not saying eat the leaves. I'm saying it makes a really, really good citrus scent for like an air freshener in your house. If you take the excess leaves and when you trim it and stuff, and then maybe cut them up a little bit and boil them in some water, it makes your entire house smell like lemons, citrus smell. Here is our ginger. This ginger was grown from store-bought ginger in our yard last year, and all we got was a few pieces. There's these little pots right here. There's 6 of them total that go around the center one. All 6 of them have ginger in them. So it's our ginger from last year. We got such a bad collection of ginger. We harvested a little too soon and didn't really give them enough attention that they needed. So we took the little pieces that were left and gave them a try, and there they go. And back here is a Ponderosa lemon. It probably needs topped a little bit more. And then our tallest plant, you can see it starts back in here. It goes all the way up. Comes out here. Comes up taller than I am. That is a avocado tree. So it's about our 3rd avocado tree that we've grown since we've been here, and we've been here over 8 years now. So we usually grow an avocado from seed and keep the tree growing and growing and growing and clip it down, and eventually we just either give it away or it just fades out when we put it outside, and we just start another one. So the avocado tree, the lemon trees, things like that, unless we've got some property or something, they're really just indoor houseplant grows for fun. We really don't expect to get a lot from that stuff, or the houseplants, of course. But we like to keep growing, and so during our cold season, we keep a lot of houseplants growing, a bunch of little random projects and stuff like that. But when we start up our grow systems, it gets really, really crazy quickly. But sorry, this video's got to be pretty long by now, but this is UT Angel and Kiddo. Just wanted to say hi to everybody. Tell you guys we were all doing good, and love you guys. Catch you next time. Thanks for watching.